This is Holiwood World in Santa Claus, Indiana, home of the Voyage, possibly the best wooden roller coaster in the world. Once a year, coaster enthusiasts flock to a coaster event called Holiwood Nights, where the park turns off the mid-course brakes on the Voyage to give it even more speed than it usually has. With this kind of reputation, the Voyage casts quite the shadow on the rest of the park, but this video isn't about the Voyage. This video is about a coaster that I consider to be one of the most overlooked in America. Meet the Legend. I made it to Holiday World and Holiwood Nights for the first time this year, and I walked away absolutely floored by the entire park. But the biggest surprise of the trip was the CCI the park opened in May of 2000. The Legend was predated by the Raven by 5 years, another solid wooden coaster that the park has to offer. I went in not knowing anything about either of these coasters, and I was honestly expecting them to be fairly on par with one another. The way I had anticipated the coasters at Holiwood ranking looked a little like this. Raven and Legend, somewhere in the B tier, pretty close to one another, with the Legend being slightly better than Raven. Meanwhile, I expected that the Voyage would just obliterate both of them, but that's not what happened at all. What my rankings ended up looking like was Raven in its expected B tier, and Legend right on the heels of Voyage, both as top-notch coasters. I walked into Holiwood Nights expecting to give Legend a pity ride or two, and to just park at Voyage the rest of the event. But I walked out asking myself why more people don't talk about this ride, because it is more than deserving of the hype. The Legend is one of the 28 remaining coasters built by the now defunct roller coaster manufacturer, Custom Coasters International. And looking at the list, it's got a solid chance at being the best of the bunch. Legend boasts a shocking 4,042 feet of track with only a height of 99 feet and a first drop of 113 feet, making excellent use of its terrain to maintain incredible pacing throughout the entire ride. Which is astounding because the duration of Legend is absolutely killer, coming in at a shocking 2 minutes from the station to the brakes. When Miguel and I rode for the first time during Holiwood Nights, we could not stop screaming, "It's still going. It's still going." Both of us went in entirely blind to this ride and knew nothing about it except that it apparently pulled some solid laterals. But laterals aren't the only thing that make this ride so special. Legend had the perfect balance of theming, airtime, laterals, smoothness, and re-rideability. While the theme is fairly loose, the Legend is located in the Halloween section of the park, and is themed to the legend of Sleepy Hollow and the story of the Headless Horseman. When the train departs the station, a catchy spiel plays and a real bell tolls above the station that a ride-op controls from the platform. This experience is really enhanced at night, as Legend is already one of the best night rides in existence as it disappears into the woods. Theming and laterals aside, the airtime moments in Legend are surprising. You really don't expect them to perform the way that they do when you see them coming. The first drop doesn't really provide any airtime, but it's not supposed to, so that's perfectly okay. It's a bank drop to the left that gradually picks up speed to set up the rest of the ride while providing some solid laterals. My personal favorite moments of airtime are a couple of hills located right in the middle of the ride before the star of the entire thing, the Helix. This is my personal favorite Helix on a coaster that I've experienced to this point, and I know of plenty of others that feel the same way. The roar of the tunnels as you get absolutely pinned to the side of the train and or the person next to you is honestly hilarious. This is one of those giggle moments on a coaster for me, where I just laugh uncontrollably the entire time. Well, at least when I'm sitting on the left side of the train, because the right can be a little painful. The seats on Legend are padded very well, but the seat divider between the two riders is not whatsoever. I definitely recommend riding Legend on the left side of the train, but you've got to try the ride at least once. With these crazy laterals, Legend can be one of those coasters that can be a little awkward to ride with a stranger. Ridiculous laterals remain throughout the entirety of the ride, but after the Helix you definitely get more of a focus on airtime as the ride bounds down the hills of the park on its way back to the station. Another aspect that really helps set Legend apart from other wooden coasters is just how well taken care of it truly is. If you've been to Holiday World in recent years, you already know how well they take care of their wooden coasters. They are constantly retracking during the off-season to give their guests the smoothest ride experience that they can possibly have. Legend does currently have a pothole or two that vary depending on where you sit in the train, but it is still super re-rideable, and it wouldn't surprise me at all when I return next year to find them completely gone. The last thing I would like to mention about the Legend are its wait times, or lack thereof. whether it's during the day during normal park operating hours or at night during Holiwood Nights ERT. The wait time is constantly low, especially when compared to the Voyage. The wait times for the Voyage during my first visit were consistently around 20 to 30 minutes at worst. Meanwhile, Legend was anywhere from a walk-on to 10 minutes at the worst, and during ERT, you could just sit on the train and not have to get off. I know of many people that rode 15 to 20 times a night, if not more, before getting a couple of rides in the other coasters. If you had told me before Holiwood Nights that some people had Legend ranked ahead of the Voyage, I would have told you they were crazy. But after experiencing it for myself, I can totally understand why. The Voyage blew me away, no doubt about it, and it easily landed in my top 5. But I walked away from Holiwood Nights with an amazing appreciation for the Legend, and it ended up in my top 15. When it comes to expectations versus actual coaster experience, the Legend is the biggest winner that I've ever ridden. After leaving Holiwood Nights, I had a lot on my mind. I had found a new favorite park, the Voyage was absolutely nuts, the event was one of the most amazing weekends of my life, and I couldn't figure out why no one, and I mean no one, had tipped me off as to just how great the Legend truly is. It has been living in my head rent-free ever since. If you didn't already know just how amazing the Legend is, I hope you do now. This is an elite wooden coaster. Thank you all for watching. That was a love letter of sorts to one of my new favorite coasters, the Legend at Holiday World. What coasters have exceeded your expectations, and what do you think about the Legend? Let me know in the comments below. If you haven't already, be sure to drop the video a like, and subscribe to the channel for more roller coaster and theme park content just like this. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.